What's going on, guys? Flick here, and welcome to the first episode of our final FIFA 16 career mode series. It'll be with Sevilla, and it will be a one-season challenge. So we only have one season to try to accomplish as much as possible with this team. We do have a lot of opportunities to win silverware, with us being in the Champions League, the Domestic Cup, as well as La Liga. But we do, of course, have some tough opposition in our own country and also abroad. Now, if any of you are new to the channel, I try very hard to make these career mode series interactive for you guys, and one way I do that is through press conferences. So I reached out to Twitter, and if you guys are not following me on Twitter, you should go ahead and do so. I have a link to it down in the description, and we have a couple of press conference questions, so let's get right into them. Our first question comes from IDK, and this question has to do with our objectives, both in terms of the league as well as the Champions Cup. And now, inheriting this team, it's already very solid, but there's a lot of room for improvement. And I still have very high expectations for this team. A top 4 finish would be what most managers would say, but that's not what I'm going to say. I'm looking to win La Liga this season, compete with the likes of Real Madrid and Barcelona, and just try to get as far as possible in the Champions League. I'm expecting no less than a quarterfinal finish in the Champions League. In order to do that, we have to do exactly what Jason Zhang is inferring to, and that is bring in more players into this team, and more players that are higher rated. We have a lot of money to work with the selling of some big name players like Krychowiak, also Gamero, and we have approximately 50 million to spend. I think we can bring in some great talents to the team. Although I'm going to make a few transfers in today's episode, I'm largely going to be relying on you guys for future episodes and your guys' comments in the comment section below. So as we move on with today's episode and you see any positions you think that we need to fill up, go ahead and put any player suggestions in the comment section. I'll be looking over them. Now, if there's anything this team is good at, it's that we're competitive in Europe. We've won the EuroLeague for 2 seasons straight, and now it's time for us to translate that to Champions League success. In regards to La Liga, I think a lot of the giants in the league aren't really thinking of us as competitors. They're focusing on the other giants, so I plan on just swooping in there and trying to bag as many points as possible. That'll be all the questions for today. Again, if you'd like your question answered, feel free to put that in the comments section below. If you see any questions that you like, go ahead and thumbs those up so I am more likely to see them. To start things off, I thought I would show off the team and show you guys exactly what we have to work with. We have a very promising goalkeeper in Sergio Rico. Although he's not the highest rated, we can train him up this season and he'll easily surpass 80 rating. And I really do think he's going to be our starting keeper this year. With that said, I think we need to bring in a backup. Our next best keeper is 64 rated, and that is definitely not good enough in case that Rico gets injured. It doesn't happen often, but it could happen over the course of a long, strenuous La Liga season. Then our left back, one of our best positions, Trem Nulis. I rate this guy really highly in FIFA, and I don't plan on improving from him. Our center back could use some work. Kariko's alright, and so is Rami. He's a new addition to the team, but I am looking to sign one world-class center back, and I'll get to that a little bit later. I think our right back does need some work, so that's one of the positions I'm looking to sign. Ibor is a very solid center defensive mid. If we do get the option to bring in a better player, I may look to do so. And same thing goes with our right mid. Vitolo is solid, and we have another decent player in Sarabia, but I think if we can bring in a better right mid, that could improve the team quite a bit. Similar thing for our center attacking mid position. We have a lot of solid players, but no one really that stands out. Our left mid is great in Kalaplayanka. Although he's only 82 rated, he plays like a much better player in my opinion. And our strike force up top has really a similar situation. Vieto and Ben Yedder, I think they're a dynamic duo, and I'm not really looking to sign a new striker. From the player suggestions I did receive on Twitter, we have a sizable short list consisting of some quality players that we can put in bids for. Of the right backs I have listed, I think DeMarcos and Hector Bellerin are the 2 players I'm looking to sign. One of those 2, I mean. And I think a lot of you are going to go for Bellerin, so he's going to be my #1 target, followed by DeMarcos, who, if you guys have used him in FIFA, you'll know he plays very, very well. For center back, we have a lot of different kind of players. We have Raul Albiol, very solid, has experience for Napoli, and he's Spanish as well. Inigo Martinez in the 80s, and he could be a good addition. And finally, we have the big boy. It's going to be Sergio Ramos. Of course, he spent some time with us here at Sevilla a couple of years ago, and if he can make a return, man, he would just bolster our defense and make us one of La Liga's best teams. Now, moving on to the center mid position, we have Thiago from Bayern, Ivan Rakitic, another player that did play for Sevilla in the past. And we also have Bojan at that center attack and mid position, currently playing in the Premier League, but I think he wouldn't mind another move over to La Liga. So of those players listed, if you have any other options, go ahead and put those in the comment section. Of course, preseason tournament brackets are a crucial part of FIFA Career Mode, and I went for the one that gave us the most potential winnings. And our group is actually quite difficult. Stoke City, Marseille, and Newcastle United, consisting of our group, all of those teams are roughly around the same rating, and I think any of us could advance. Player training is another one of those areas that we'll need to rely on if we do want to find success this year, and I've decided to go with Rico, Ben Yedder, Vieto, and Correa as the 4 players that we want to train up. And I think all of these guys will reach 80 rating. Maybe Correa will be upper 70s, but the rest of them will surely reach over 80 rated by the end of the season. In order to fund some transfers during this transfer window, I put a couple of our older players on the transfer list, or players I really don't intend on using this season, and then a lot of our younger players going on the loan list, whether that be for 1 or for 2 years. All of the board objectives have now come in, and it looks like the board do want us to qualify for the Champions Cup, reach the round of 16 in the Domestic Cup, and reach the quarterfinal of the Champions League. Some high expectations from the board, but I intend on fulfilling each of them. Although our group is one of the tougher ones I've been in, I'm going to be simulating each of these group stage matches. If we do advance, then great, then we'll get more money, but if we do get kicked out, it's not the end of the world. We'll still get a bit of money added to our transfer budget. And Ben Yedder opening things up, 1-0 for us against Marseille. Now going into halftime, still 1-0, and Konoplyanka adds a second. It's looking good for this Sevilla team. The players that I thought were going to perform really have stepped up to the plate, and it looks like we're going to get another goal through Tremanoulis and Fletcher. Whether he missed the penalty or whether Sergio Rico did make the save, we get the win 3-0. Great start to the season. I think it's about time that we start putting some bids in, and the first player is going to be our biggest target. It's Sergio Ramos from Real Madrid. The board says we need to pay up 43 to about 50 million, and I'm going to start with 35. I doubt Real Madrid will accept this. I think they're going to want about 50 million for him, which is doable because that's within our budget, but I'd rather start low and work my way up. Another simulated match will see us face up against Newcastle, who also picked up a win in their first game against Stoke City, and a 3-0 win at that. We'll see who comes out on top in this game and who decides to be on top of our group. Still scoreless in the 30th minute, but on the 30th minute mark, we just get 2 goals in quick succession. Vitolo and Ben Yedder giving us the 2-0 lead going into the halftime break and now into the second half. Got a couple of changes being made, but it looks like we will be getting this win, and it's 3-1 with 10 minutes left. Red card for Newcastle, and we do get the result. Our first transfer offer coming in for one of our players, and it will be Vitolo from AS Monaco. 18 million for a player worth 20 million, so I will be increasing this counter offer to roughly 28 million. I think we could meet halfway, maybe 25 million, and I still want a lot of money for this guy unless we do end up going after another right mid target. On the other hand, Carricho is not a player I have in this team's plan, so I'm going to try to sell him to Chelsea, but I will still look to pick up more for him. Maybe 15 million is something Chelsea would be willing to pay, and we'll put in that counter offer. And as expected, Real Madrid want 65.5 million for Sergio Ramos. We'll see what we can do here. Our first bid was 35 and they say 65, so I'm going to go ahead and put in a 45 million bid and start working my way up. There's a good chance we will be advancing out of our group, but a draw here would ensure it, and we'll have to do it against Stoke City. We'll see how Bojan does play, but actually he's sitting on the bench. I can't believe that, so maybe we can pick him up on the cheap. But again, off to a strong start, missed penalty, and then Konoplyanka comes in with a 16th minute goal, and Vitolo follows it up. That's got to be increasing his market value. Going into halftime break, we are just dominating in these simulated matches. I don't know what it is, and I'm so excited to use this Sevilla team in game because we're playing so well in simulated matches. Surely we can get the same kind of results in regular matches. Another big win, this time 3-0. We have a few different loan offers for one of our players, Cotan, one from QPR and one from Borussia Dortmund. I'm going to go with the QPR offer because I think there's a higher chance that he'll get playtime in the championship, so we will accept that. Two awesome pieces of news for us. Monaco did exactly as I planned, and they countered our counter offer with 24.5 million. And then Chelsea have decided to accept that 15 million counter offer for one of our players, the center back. So now we're going to go to this Monaco offer, and we're just going to accept it straight away. That's going to give us a lot of money to work with, roughly 100 million euros, and that's going to allow us to make some big transfers into the team. Still no luck on Sergio Ramos, so we're going to increase this transfer offer once again with the new funds that we now have, up to 55 million. I know this is a lot of money, but I think bolstering up our defense is really going to improve our chances this season, and also it takes a great player away from Real Madrid and adds him to our team. The semifinal of the European International Cup will see us face up against Benfica. If we do get this win and advance to the final, I will be playing that game, but that's only if we get this win. Vitolo looking to get a strong start for us, getting the first goal in the 4th minute, and Vitolo following things up. Maybe I shouldn't be selling him because he is bagging in goals like it's nobody's business. Silvio gets one back for Benfica, but now 60 minutes into the game, we just need to hang on. A hat trick for Vitolo. I can't believe this. And okay, I thought it was a 4th. It's Vieta this time. A lot of V's in this team, but we get the 4-1 win. Another transfer offer coming in for one of our strikers, and we will be accepting this, departing ways with some of our younger players. We've got some big news here, boys. Vitolo has successfully moved on over to AS Monaco. And had that deal happened a little bit later, I think I would have rejected it because he was bagging in so many goals, but it was really after we accepted that Monaco offer that he started performing at such a high level. I still think that with 21 million, we can bring in a player to surpass him because he was 81 rated. He was a little bit lower than what I would have liked at that right mid, and I think we can bring in a very promising right mid option who could be Spanish from BBVA, whatever you guys want. That's going to be one of those positions that I'm relying on you guys for. Some players that come to mind are Juan Mata, Naki Williams potentially. I'm going to relying on you guys. But of course, the transfer offer has been accepted. 55 million for Sergio Ramos. We'll have to get into contract negotiations now, and he does want 220,000 a week. 2 years, crucial first team player. We'll see if he accepts. The final of this preseason tournament will see us face up against Inter Milan, and it will be a debut match for this right mid that we have used to replace Vitolo. And personally, I like to use this guy over Vitolo. He has 4-star skills, 4-star weak foot, good work rates. Vitolo, if I'm not mistaken, had high defensive work rates, which I just don't like to play with. Even if you mess around with the tactics, he still drifts out of position. I think this guy has a lot of potential. Only 23 years old, and Sarabia might be that right mid option for us if we don't decide to transfer in one. One thing I have forgotten to say up to this point in the episode is that we will be playing on Legendary difficulty, 5-minute halves for those of you that are interested. And the transfers are relatively updated as of about 5 days ago. So players like Pogba are at United, and Inter Milan are going to have a couple new players. Of course, we have a couple new players at Sevilla, and Ben Yedder and Vieto. And overall, this should make for a very interesting look on what FIFA 17 might have to bring. Here's the Inter starting 11. They're a great team who have some awesome players, but in my opinion, they haven't been able to live up to the potential that they might have in real life. Maybe that'll translate over to FIFA. We'll see if they provide some tough competition for us in this final. There's Tremanoulis playing this one inside, and we're going to split the defense. Now a chance for us to do something here. It's going to be Vieto. Going to use a drag back to create some space, and I'm going to try to cut down on the Berber spin in this career mode. You guys tell me I use it too much. And here, Konoplyanko with the shot. Had that not been blocked, I think that would have been on frame. But a good start to us so far. And we are able to keep possession for the most part in Inter's half. There's Gonzo waiting for the run to be made on the left. It's going to be Luciano Vieto, has the pace, and he's going to look to cross this actually to the far post. Handanovic is going to get there every single time. He's one of those keepers that are incredibly tough to beat, and we're going to have a lot of shots in order to beat him. There's Rodrigo Palacio. We need to close this guy down. He's going to play it off to the left. Some good passing by Inter Milan. They're very unselfish with their play, and to close out the half, they do score. It was a clinical finish, low and hard, and there's no way Sergio Rico is going to be able to get to that one. Inter have pushed on, so have we, but Inter are the ones that go into the break with the lead. Here's a look at the halftime statistics, and I'm actually really surprised by them because Inter, judging by the statistics, they've been dominating. It hasn't felt like that in game. I felt like we've had more than one chance, but it is what it is. We're going to have to change it in the second half. With this being a preseason match, I want to make sure I give some play time to the players that are on the bench, and Vasquez is going to be coming in at that center attacking mid spot for Gonzo. In addition to that, I want to switch up the CDM position a bit, and Nzonzi does play spectacularly well in FIFA. Not the highest rated player, but I think he could boss it in the midfield. We got a run being made on the left, and if there's no one there, there is no one there. The keeper coming out, and it's a foot race. Handanovic makes the save. If we can win a header here, we might be able to get it on target. Vasquez coming in and looking to make an immediate impact. Vieto has the player on the left. He was looking to find him, but it was a good block by one of Inter's defenders. Corner kick for Inter. They'll take it long, and we will try to defend this as Ivan Perisic, don't tell me that's going in. It's cleared off the line. Well done by our defense, and Sergio Rico to even get a hand on it, and he does it again. Well done. And Nzonzi on the ball for us here. Needs a player to run for him. It's going to be Tremanoulis pushing up from the left mid position, cutting it inside now. If we can get a player in the middle, it would be a great opportunity just to finesse out Konoplyanka, again blocked by Inter Milan. I don't know if we can break down this Inter team. They've been playing so well defensively. But we're not done yet. Ben Yedder, crossbody, and there it is. It's 1-1, just like that. Ben Yedder, I don't know if he's right-footed or left-footed, but I know he does have 5-star weak foot, so it really doesn't matter. You can shoot from anywhere with this guy, and what a goal by him. Here's Nagatomo just sending it across. Don't you tell me they're going to score like that. It's 2-1 for Inter, and they respond immediately. Their fullback pushes up, and it's going to be one of their defenders looking to get on it. I saw it coming from a mile away, and I was hoping Sergio Rico could collect there, but it was a great cross. Put him in no man's land. It's a clinical finish by their defender. We can maybe push up for one more opportunity if the ref lets us. 2 minutes of added time, and we're pushing on. Playing this one in the middle, and Konoplyanka now. Is the ref going to let us play? Konoplyanka going to the corner flag, and I'm going to do what I do best, the Burba spin. Again, playing the pass, and it wasn't a great pass. That's got to be full time. And we're going to fall in the final of this preseason tournament, but it's just that. It's a preseason match, and it's okay for us to have a couple of hiccups early on in the match. This is the first game that we've used this team, for that matter, and I think once we make those transfers, by the end of this summer transfer window, this team is going to be so much better, and we're going to have such a greater opportunity to do well in the competitions that we want to do well in. That's the league, the Champions League, as well as the domestic cup. I'm all right with losing a preseason tournament, even if I wanted to get a little bit of extra silverware, but fair play to Inter, they played well. I think I'm actually going to close off the episode on that note, guys, and we do have that transfer bid accepted for Sergio Ramos. All we have to do is have that contract offer accepted, and he'll be the first signing for this Sevilla team. But for the rest of the positions, it's really up in the air, and I'm going to be relying on the comment section to determine what players to go after. So please utilize the comments, and I'll be making sure to review them and responding to as many as I can. If you guys did enjoy this first episode of the One Season Challenge with Sevilla, make sure you drop a like down below. Subscribe if you are new to the channel, and until next time, this has been Flake. I'll be talking to you guys again soon.